academic work to bear on my devotional life. And this is what we pastors should do. Bringing academic life to bear on your Christian life, your devotional life. Seeing Christ in whatever you do. So, pride is not good. But ignorance too is serious. It's very, very serious. Pride in education is not good, but if you are ignorant too, you'll be deceived. So don't be proud. Humble yourself, study. We recommend our West African friends and those in Africa too, we must take these things very important. How the word is coming, I told those in Ghana, I think last year when we went for a conference, and that was in Switzerland. The World Council of Churches was going to hold its General Assembly, held once in every 6 or 7 years. And some of us were invited as facilitators in evangelism. And one African also was invited along with me. And when we went and we were talking about the internet and how the materials were sent on us to the internet, he said, "Oh, I am BBC." So I didn't understand. And he said, "Do you understand BBC?" I said, "No." He said, "Born before computer age." So I said, "When were you born?" And he said, 1958. So, all right. I was born in 1954. So I'm older than you. But I use the computer and the internet. So please go and use it. Don't sit in ignorance and proud yourself by saying that I was born before computer age. Right, then to the heads. Please, let's see how we can, I can't get the right terminology, how we can minimize, it's not the best thing, the use of our area secretaries, area women leaders, area deacons, and area officers. By minimizing their use, this is what I mean. That the area secretary is not necessary for the area secretary to come to the office every day. So give him, you can plan, maybe once a week or at most twice a week. Allow him to function as a district pastor effectively. Whether you are in the city or in any other region. See to it and see how the area secretary will not be too much occupied at the house. The occupation we had is evangelism, doing that work. So please, we plead with the area heads, look at how you can do that. Same as the area women leaders, because we heard that some of them, when they are made area women's leader, they would have to resign their work. But we want them to be professionals too and demonstrate to them how Christian leaders should work in the various offices. We want them to demonstrate that, being faithful in whatever they are doing. So that's why I'm saying I'm lacking vocabulary. Sometimes I need vocabularies of Apostle Atu and Chu and Sapon, the master of English language, to come and give me such vocabularies. But I want something to say, don't overuse them, but I can't get a better word. That's why I have used it. Then the drivers, let's give them a day of Sabbath. So work it out that, because some of us who travel outside, our drivers have the opportunity of resting. But with some of you, if you are always on the move, the driver may not have a day to be with the family at all. But he needs to be with the wife and the children. The children and the wife must enjoy him. So find a way of giving the driver a day of rest. This one is directive. It's not consultation. For this one is directive. Give him a day of rest so that he and you will not disobey Moses. The law of Moses, very important. So we don't want Moses to come here and be disappointed. Give him a day of Sabbath. Now I want to handle working relationship between national and regional or area heads within the nations. As we are doing it, it will also speak to those in Ghana. The growth of the church in the nations calls for a changing working relationship between the national and the area or regional heads. So if I say area or regional head, you can understand it according to how you have demarcated your nation. Now, when we come to the nation, the national head is the overall overseer of the church in the nation. Everything comes under his supervision. Because if something crops up at the General Council, he will have to respond. Anything that is going on, he would have to respond. So he is the head, the overseer of the work in the nation, and must see to it that everything that is coming from the nation should come through his outfit. He would have to sign, he would have to endorse it, he would have to instruct it. And therefore, he should be concerned with the entire church, pastors and wives, officers and members. So as the national head, you are not only concerned about the pastors and their wives, officers, but you are also concerned about the members, taking general oversight. So you have to take everything in the nation into consideration. And sometimes you become the last resort of all appeals that people would like to make. We try as much as possible to, as a national, you try to reduce your duties, the load of your work, by letting people passing through right channels to work. But you realize that sometimes some will abuse them. When they abuse them, don't be too much legalistic. Don't be too much legalistic. Find a way of correcting them and helping them. Don't drive them away. If you drive them away, the last thing that they would have to do is that they would have to find other avenues. Some of these avenues may be writing to the general headquarters or putting it in the social media, which is not very, very good. You should not allow them to put it on the social media before you come in. So try to find ways of accommodating such people, listening to them, and helping them to pass through the right channel. Now, the national head prepares the calendar of activities, and he does this with the secretary. If you ask the secretary to do it, you are giving the secretary instruction. Bring this thing here, bring this thing here, bring this thing here. If there is any program going on in the nation, you are in charge. If you are asking the secretary to draw the program, you are instructing the secretary, do this one, look to it, and know what is happening. One time I attended a retreat. If the area head is here, he should forgive me. But it's a better example, so I have to use it. I went to a retreat somewhere else. I wanted to know the time. He said, oh, I have to ask the secretary. It's not a good stewardship. You see, you have to tell the secretary, this is what you have to do. So it's not the secretary who should tell you that this is when the meeting begins. That is poor stewardship. So the calendar of activities must be owned by you. You prepare it. Your secretary is doing it in consultation with you. You are doing it rather, and he is helping you to do it. Then after the area's activity, you must also have yours. You see, you must have your own activities, including your visitation and other things that come across during the year. All of these things must be included in your calendar of activities. Now, if you are visiting an area as a national head, you are going to enhance the area's work. So your work supports, complements the work of the area head. So if there is an area head or regional head, you ask him that, what are the needs here? I want to come to your place. What do you have to do? It's not a matter of you drawing your special program and then the area head drawing his special program. No, similarly, it's not the area head drawing his special program and the national head, and then the district pastor drawing his special program. You are helping the area head work on behalf of the national council. The area head helps the district pastors to work. So if, for instance, you are an area head, either outside or here, there should not be conflict between you and your pastor. You are all doing the king's business. So find ways that you can do. For instance, if there is an outside ministry, the IMD and myself would have to see how we can do it. So I wouldn't say that this is my special program and this is IMD's special program. What can we do to support the church there? So if I am going to this place, and then he could also go to another side. Or if we need to go to a place to reinforce an issue there, it becomes very helpful. This aspect must be taken seriously. So you find what is important for the area and then support it. And the area has calendar of activities come after the national has revealed, given out as the national calendar of activity, so that you know we need to do this, we need to put this one here. That one will help you to do yours. Area heads are in charge of the work in the area. They draw their calendar of activities from the national head's calendar of activities. The calendar of activities are two. One for you as an area, one for the area, and one for you. In yours, you have to put in your personal schedules, times that you will need to go on your own waiting, maybe meeting with family members. And what I've adopted is that sometimes I'm trying to have once a year meeting our external family members. This idea came because we've seen that in Ghana here, often when there are funerals and other things, there are often fights between bereaved widows and then the family. So we must begin to meet together and then dialogue, talk about death, talk about life after death, funerals, conducts of people. Let's discuss them, what the in-laws expect from their, what is the in-laws expect from their, in-laws. Yes, let both share, discuss it. You know, these things are very important. So your own personal calendar of activities. Time you may need to have with your children, extended family, and other personal issues. They are very important. And then you block them. If you say you block them, you don't allow people to cross those periods. Because always people would like to cross those periods, but block them and then use them for your own development and that of your family. The work of the area head, as I've said, is to enhance the work of the districts, and that's the district pastors. There should not be conflict between the area head and the pastors too. The administration of the work of the region or the area is under the area head. He is in charge of the overall administration, finance, and everything there, disciplining the people, their callings, and ordinations, if he is an apostle or a prophet. If not, when it comes to ordination, he has to inform the national head If there are other apostles, he may ask them to come and help, or he would also come and do it. So the work of the area is in charge of the area head. However, you are doing it on behalf of the national head. Let that one be at the mark of your mind. If the work in the nation has not grown to the level where there are many apostles, the national head needs to be involved in activities such as ordination, if there is an ordination. If, for instance, the area is just picking up 2 apostles, one national head and the other, and there is an ordination of pastor, it is proper that you tell the national head, and 2 of you do it. You say the laying on of hands, the presence of other people, encourage the person. And sometimes it brings out these prophetic utterances that we are calling for. Some of us even had the benefit of being ordained at the general convention. Even some of the pastors who are here were ordained at the general convention at that time. Even our time, when you were being ordained, when you were being confirmed as overseers, it was that at the general council meeting that we were confirmed as overseers. You know, the presence of these men of God and the rest of the people of God around, I mean, give that person even encouragement, confidence to take off. And when Pastor Makio greeted me and said that God has a blessing for you, I went and wrote it down. I said, yes. He was saying, God bless you, God bless you. Then he said, God has a blessing for you. That one was special. You see, so with the presence of other people saying hello, God bless you at all, is something. And some of them will be pronouncing special blessings. So things about ordination. And if even there are other heads and there is opportunity for you, you can invite some of them to join you and during ordinations. And sometimes if you adopt that of Pastor Denchi, Apostle Denchi, I'm not worried about that one. He will frighten people during ordination. And I realized that Apostle Sayirakwa and Gyimah pick it from him. May the Lord God Almighty have mercy on us. Yes. So that one, he should be involved. However, if there are other apostles, the work has grown, and there are other apostles, this should not be the sole duty of the national head. He should be able to encourage the area head in the area to carry out some of these things. So the area head works in, he is the one who is in charge of the work in the area. The national head should allow him to plan for the area activities, train the officers in the area, and then supervise the work of the pastors in the area. However, the national head too should draw his itinerary to visit the areas. And sometimes when you visit, you should be able to get time to visit the districts. If it is not a good place. Somebody was telling me that, oh, when you come to maybe USA or UK, you need to visit our assembly. Now the chairman can do that. The chairman can do that work. The pastor, there's no time. There is no time for that one because the church has grown. If you look at the areas in Ghana alone, we have 56 areas. So even if the chairman decides to visit one area in a year, the weeks will not be enough. So it is the responsibility of the district pastors to see to it to visit the assemblies, spending some time there. When an area, a national head visits an area there too, he should see to it that he should be able to visit some of the district and then some of the assemblies. Yeah, some of the assemblies, encouraging them. That one is very important. But allow the area head also to do the work in the area. The national head must plan. There must not be too many emergency meetings. If there are too many emergency meetings, you break the work of the area heads. When somebody wants to work, one to emergency. So emergency meetings should be emergencies and short. Plan. How many meetings are we going to hold in this year? And then when you plan it, look to it that you fulfill it. But when there is an emergency, then you find a way of doing it. Similarly, the area heads must not call too many pastors' meeting. One to come for a meeting, one to come for a meeting. Allow the district pastors to work in the district. You know, if a pastor plans, let's say, 5 days retreat, something that I like when I was a district pastor. You see, when you move from one level to another level, you miss something that you want. When I was appointed an area head, at that time, regional head, what I missed was getting time to go to villages and sometimes visiting their farms, the farm of some of the villagers, going with him to the farm, enjoying them, you know, staying with them, talking, discussing with them. I miss that one. No, this area head visiting the district also, not flying visit, planning 5 days, 3 days, special time of retreat for them, teaching them. This is something that we need to do. So the area heads must take notice of this one, having time with the people, rubbing shoulders with them. Sometimes go with a pastor, go with an elder, go with somebody, and then let them pick from you. It's something that we learn from our fathers that I think that is very important that we shouldn't put down. Apostle Ninkura, who was my spiritual father, would send me along as a brother, training me for the ministry, baptize with me, eat with me. I mean, by associating with you, you begin to learn with him. So let's go out with the people and let them learn from us, young and old. Please take notice of this one. Then the executive committees, the executive committee of the nation must be selfless. You must be selfless and be concerned of the church. So if any decision is, and I thank God that having the opportunity to function in many executive councils under the leadership of others too, I've seen that God has blessed us that always we have some in the executive who are very, very concerned about the welfare of the church and would like to defend Christ and his church. People who are selfless. If you don't have it like that, and you sit down, allowances for ourselves, for our wives, we need this one for our wives, we need them because they are not working. If you think of yourself and your wives, you wouldn't help the church. You wouldn't help the church. So let's have people, the executive, who would think of Christ and his kingdom, be wider in their perspective of issues, thinking of the kingdom of God, the kingdom of God, the church of God, and then the church of Pentecost that the Lord has placed you in. How can you serve the kingdom through the church of Pentecost? Then joining other fraternities. If there are pastors' council in the nation, join them. Don't isolate yourself. Get involved in such things for them to know that indeed you are kingdom-minded. I will end it here, and if there is something that needs clarification or something that one of us would like to include it, I'll give that person the opportunity to do that. there is any contribution or a question, you can bring it. Right, then we will take the. Shall all of us rise up? Apostle Anson, we will ask you to pray for your wife.
Pacho mommy and to Sajum. Akatia or ho ma. Akatia or ho ma one.
Offrey, offre kron kron, osuru fre, na wodia fre, wabuye bi, di wajuma shayesa, katia waho, mawana wasomolo parimu. Katia wo